Hi, welcome. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Uh, I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, let me just confirm. I'm trying to make sure that everyone can hear me. Let me see. Can you guys hear me now? Say something. Let me be sure you can hear me. Okay, but this has disconnected. Let me see. It has disconnected. I'm trying to make sure your voices are heard on YouTube. Let me change this again. Okay, say something. Let me be sure I can hear you on YouTube. Just hold on. Let me go to
So
YouTube.
we can hear you.
Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to set this up. I'm trying to see if I can hear you guys on YouTube. Just hold on. Just give me a few minutes. Someone should say something. Okay, so I can hear you on YouTube clearly, but I can't hear you on Google Meet. So, can someone say something?
Hello, sir.
Christiana. Okay, okay. So I'm trying to figure out how to hear this now. Desktop audio. This. Okay. Uh, Guys, give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. I'm trying to. Okay. Okay. Uh, can you guys ask a question? Let me see. Just say something.
Good evening, sir. Can you
Yes,
hear me?
I can.
Onyechi, are you speaking? If you are speaking, I can't hear you.
Yes, sir. I'm talking. Sir, can you hear me?
I think you are speaking.
I'm talking.
Okay. Welcome, guys. Sorry, just give me like 2 minutes. I'm trying to fix this. Onyechi, are you saying something? Because I can't hear you on. But people can hear you on YouTube, but I can't hear you here. Let me see. Let me switch this back to. Let me switch this back to.
Yeah, I'm talking,
Let
sir.
me
I'm
see.
saying something.
Okay. Uh, can someone speak? I want to be sure I can hear you guys. Okay, still not. I cannot hear it. I still can't hear you
Yes, sir.
guys.
Can I hear you?
Let me see. Uh, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Output. Input. Okay, that means I'll have to go to YouTube before I can hear. Okay. Hi, sorry, I'm just trying to set this up. I also don't know why I can't hear myself on YouTube. I hope I'm live on YouTube. Uh, because I just want to find a way to be recording this thing for you guys so you can easily rewatch it later. One minute, guys. YouTube. I'm trying to go to YouTube. I'm trying to go to YouTube. Okay, if this doesn't work, I think I'll just go with default. Let me just go with default for today. Okay, I think I can hear you guys now, but it says, can you guys hear me? This setup is.
Are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm trying to set up my mic now.
Are you there? Can anyone hear me here?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. I was trying to set up my mic. Okay, so I want someone to help me to do something quickly. I'm sure you guys can hear me now and I can hear you guys, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want someone to help me quickly go on YouTube, use this link, go on YouTube and just check if you can hear me and also hear the people in the class. So I just dropped the link on, okay, let me drop it on your phones. Okay, I dropped it on Google Link, on this Google Meet. That way I'm sure that it's everyone that is, the people are here that are the ones testing it. So just go on YouTube. If you can hear me, just come back here and let me know. Then I'll ask someone to speak and then you just confirm if you can also hear the person. So I don't know who that will be, but can you hear me now? Are you there now? Who is volunteering? Who is clicking on the link? Let's be sure before we start. Who is clicking on the link?
I've clicked on it. I've clicked on it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Okay. Let me.
Can you hear me on YouTube?
So I'm hearing you on YouTube, but it's very low. Like the
Okay,
volume is low, like very,
okay,
very low. The voice
okay,
is faint.
okay. Let me see. But can you guys hear the student as well on YouTube right now? Like right now, can someone say something here? So let me confirm if you guys can hear it on YouTube.
Okay, I can, yes, I can
Okay,
also
can you
hear
guys hear
myself.
me?
Okay, you can also hear yourself. Okay, great. For the volume, I think I will find a way to increase it later. So uh, hopefully the audio works well better on.
Sir, I think it's from your own mic, oh, because I can hear myself, but I can barely hear you.
Okay, check if you can hear me now. Check if you can hear me now on YouTube. Can you hear me? Like clearly on YouTube. Can you hear me clearly? Or is it better? I just want to confirm. You can barely hear
No, I
me.
can't hear you. It's still faint. It's still faint.
Okay. Uh, what does this thing want us to do? What does this thing want us to do? Mic here. Let me check the system mic. Input here. Okay. Output here. Output. 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 Jack I1. Uh, mic. Input here. Okay. Output here. Can someone say something? Output. Output.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Output. Okay, let me just wait for like 1 minute. I1. Uh, input here. Okay. Output here. Can someone say something?
Hello.
Okay, great. I think we are good to go. I think we are good to go. We'll just use it the way it is. Okay, good. Sorry, guys, for the lateness. Let me just transition for people on YouTube so they can see what's going on. Okay, guys, welcome. It's a great day to see you guys again. As usual, today we take questions and answers irrespective of where you are in your track. You can always ask questions and also get answers. And yeah, if there is something new, you would definitely get to talk about it. So let's start with the question and answer as usual. So if you have a question, please raise up your hand. So I take your questions and then answer your questions, and we move on. So any questions? Okay. Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Evening.
Hello, sir.
We have question from CMC. Raise up your hand so that it can be orderly. So if you have question, raise up your hand so I can just call you. Okay. I think the first hand I saw was CMC. That's Chema Mirakuchidibem. Okay. Chema Mirakuchidibem, what's your question?
Sir, our class from last week,
Okay.
we had you said you were going to say more about that responsive. I think responsive
Oh, okay. The
design.
responsive design. Okay. Great. Let me
Yes.
take note of that. Let me take
Yeah,
note of
and
that.
you said and there was somebody posted one question like that on the group, on the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
You said you were going to talk about it today.
Okay, I think we are going to start with that particular one. This responsive design. Responsive design, I think I'm also going to probably make, although when you people get to start working on the project, there is a section for responsive design. But let me see if I can take those questions on WhatsApp. So someone posted on WhatsApp. Someone posted quite a number of questions. Let me see if I can answer them. But while I'm looking at it, I'm looking for it. Uh, Oninechi Sandra, what's your question?
Okay, sir. Um, it's just I'm working on the assignment you gave, and I was trying to create cards
Okay.
like for my footer. I think where we have the list of information of the company about. So when I created the first card using AutoFrame, I like duplicated it so I could actually like input some information. But it wasn't giving me what I wanted. They were just like it was not. I don't know how to explain it like very well, but it was just like changing shape and form. And I tried to work on it, but it's still giving me issues.
Okay. So the first thing first is you need to make sure you understand the grouping of your contents when trying to use auto frame. If not, things will fall apart. So I think I'll answer that shortly. Let me take the question from Khadija. So once I call you and give you answer, you can now you can take down your hand so I'll know the number of people that still have questions and those that don't have. So Khadija, let me take your question.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, sir.
Evening.
So my question is that if you are to take on a project, or would you have to need a design project, and then maybe they don't even have a developer? Will you have to say, will you just design it and hand it over to them? They don't know what to do with it, or you just collect the gig and then you go ahead and find your developer and all of that. Like,
Okay, so
I
this
want
one,
to know
yeah,
about that, please.
this one is more of a business related question. So um, let's say you have a client reach out to you. If they don't have a developer and they're asking you to design, you want to confirm if they just want you to design or they want you to design and develop. So there are those that will reach out to you for just design because they already have a developer in-house or they have a developer that will do the development. They just want a designer to handle the UI UX so that it will come out fine. If that is the case, then you are designing and then handing over the Figma file to the person. Now, if the person has if the person is expecting you to also design and maybe develop it, then that is another business there. So you need to be able to make sure you know exactly what that person wants. So there was one time I had someone reach out to me and said, I'm a designer. I said yes. They now said I should help them design a website. So when I was done designing the website, I sent them the Figma link, and the person used it and viewed it and said it was nice. Few minutes later, the person reached out and said that they shared it, that it's not clickable, that people cannot fill the form. I was like, fill which form? I said, Bunny, that is a Figma file. Right? So I had to be the one to now educate them. And then I said, oh, in fact, at that point, they felt like they wasted money, but I made them understand the value, right? But I ended up developing it as well, and that was another fee. So you need to understand where they are, make sure they understand that you are just designing and not developing. If they want you to develop, then that is design and development, right? So that's how it works. I don't know if it's clear now. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir, thank you.
You're welcome. CMC, do you still have any other question? I can see your hands up, so I want to start answering this. Okay, good.
No, sir. Sir.
Okay, so someone said, how can one communicate properly while designing? This one, it depends on your community school. I really can't answer this. But one of the things you do when designing is to keep frequent communication to make sure you understand and you are in sync with the project owner, right? So you reach out to the project owner to really understand what they are trying to solve. Because if someone is build, for example, let's start with a website. When someone reaches out to you and say they want to do a website, they have different goals. Someone might say, okay, you know what, right now at this point in my business, I want to gather leads. Gathering leads means they want to get contacts of people that might be interested in their business, and they be like, how best can I gather these leads? Maybe I want to give out something for free for people to drop their WhatsApp phone number. So it is in communicating with that person and asking the right questions that you get to understand what the person actually wants to do. That way, your design will align with the person's goal. For instance, if the person is trying to generate lead by getting people's WhatsApp contacts and maybe where they stay, that means on your design, even if you do the most beautiful design and on the homepage, what you have there is learn more as the CTA, then you've done beautiful nonsense, right? Instead, you understand what the client wants and make sure your design, if the client is looking for people's WhatsApp number and their state in order to give out something, at the home page on the hero section, you're already communicating that value, and then you're already adding a form where people can put in their WhatsApp number and select their state and submit to get whatever value they are giving out. So that is how you make sure you communicate properly and make sure your design meets business goal or business expectations. So when you hear people saying design that meets business goal, that's basically what we are talking about. You need to make sure, for instance, I'm currently working on a project, and on this project we did a design that was really nice. The client saw it, but the client kept saying that he needed a larger screen to work with, like he needed more real estate on the design. And right now the design we've done so far, we are likely going to go and, because instead of a full sidebar like this, you see, instead of a full sidebar like this, we are likely going to redesign it so the sidebar will just be collapsible, right? So that the person can get more real estate. So even if we continue designing and we don't put that into consideration, it won't solve the person's pain point. So that's why you need to listen. Number two, how do I choose the right typography or what to look out for when choosing the right typography? Again, I keep telling you guys, learn like a learner now, okay? Don't go and do things. There are a lot of people you see. I personally have been designing for over 6 to 7 years now. Okay, I'll say professionally, I've been designing for over 4 years now when it comes to UI UX, right? Because I took my UI UX career more serious after Corona. So, and I've gone through a lot of things. I've not been doing only design, right? As I am here now, I have experience when it comes to marketing. Then I have experience in digital marketing. I have experience in branding. I have experience in running a business because I run some businesses. I also have experience as in print because I worked in a print. I used to work in a printing press. I also have an experience in how schools are being run because I have worked with quite a number of schools here in Abuja creating their website. Now, anytime I'm designing, all these experiences comes into play. I don't just go to Figma and start doing things. All these experiences, there are some advice I give businesses based on my own experience, either as a marketer, a digital marketer, or just working with other businesses, right? Now, where am I heading to with this? If you're just starting your design career, there are things you should not bother yourself about. You see things like, how do I know which color to use? How do I know which typography to use? You will never know it under 3 months. You will never. You won't even know it under 1 year. Instead, when you are starting, just learn about the principles of colors and the principles of typography. Then you follow a guardrail. Guardrail simply means just follow a consistent use of fonts that have never failed, fonts that you see all the time on different UI. Just use them for your project until you get that job. Why? If you get a job anywhere, chances are you are not the brand designer. They would already have a font or a typography for you to use. So coming down to bother, how do I know? You just learn about it, but don't bother yourself. And I think I'll drop that list again. So we have a list of 10 typography you can use and 10 colors you can use that will always make your design look good and professional. Okay? So when I drop it, don't ask me why. Just use it. When you buy a new car and you no sabi drive, you just go there, you learn how to push the car, move front, reverse, speed, brake. You don go and start learning this fuel, how does the motor drink the fuel. If not, after 5 years you never start to dey drive. Okay, so please set your priorities right. Your priorities now is to be able to do what people can see and give you jobs in the next 2 3 years. Colors, understanding colors, if you just see two color wey clash, you will know. Just like all this, sometimes some girls, some I see some ladies asking how do I mix color, but you know how to mix your makeup. Reason is because you've been making up. I'm sure the first day you did your makeup yourself, it didn't blend well, but to you it looked like the world should stop because you did your makeup by yourself. But that's for those of you that do makeup. Oh. But as time goes on, just naturally, if the thing didn't blend well, you know, and you keep making it to blend in. That's just how color is, right? Just work with the right one. And I think we talked about color earlier. If you've not gotten to that place, you eventually get there. The most important colors, you have your brand color, okay, your brand color, and then your semantic color. Semantic colors hardly change. Then you have your global color and neutral color, right? Again, you have your brand colors, your global colors, your neutral colors, and your semantic colors. What are your brand colors? Every company has their brand color. For instance, MTN is yellow, Etisalat, Glow is green, Airtel is red. Those are their brand colors. So if you are designing anything for them, these are the colors you can use to either drive action or showcase important stuff. Now, some companies might have secondary colors. That is fine. Now, global colors are basically white and black. There is no design you see anywhere where that you won't see white and black, right? Then you have neutral colors. Neutral colors are used on different things like backgrounds and surfaces. After that, you have your semantic colors. Semantic colors are usually the same. They are basically colors that convey meaning. For instance, when you want to tell someone that if they delete an account, it's gone forever, you have to use red. You can't use yellow and tell the person, oh, delete, danger, danger. No, it's colors that convey meaning. When someone does something and it's correct, you put color green. Okay, so there are three. Okay, there are four semantic colors. Okay, if you Google semantic color, I also wish you guys to be taking notes whenever class is going on like this. Okay, it's very very important. So semantic colors are colors used in interfacing and blah blah blah. Okay, I just wanted to point out. Okay, those colors to you. Now, knowing this simply means that if you are designing and there is no need for success or anything, you don't have anything to do with your semantic colors. Just work with the brand colors and the neutral colors. Don't overdo. This is not time for you to overdo. Again, one of the issues I have, I think most beginners have, there was a student project I reviewed earlier this week. She tried to use all the fonts wey she don come across since she start this design and all the colors. eh you have to just rest sometimes. Okay, sometimes you just have to rest. Just do something simple. Follow the neutrals. Use your brand color or the accent color to highlight important things. Then you use your neutrals for the backgrounds. And if there's anywhere, maybe a form, if someone is filling a form and then when the person has error, you need to tell the person that, oh, there is an error on this form, then you use red. That is error. If it is warning, you can use amber, right? If it is success, you can use green. So it's loading. So negative, red. Notice, yellow, that's amber. Positive, green. Informative, blue. You see this across a lot of websites. There are some exceptions though. There are some apps that they said no, we want to use one color, maybe pink all through. So because they are using pink all through, they can still use pink to convey these meanings. But normally, in most web apps, you want to use these 5 types of colors. Now, when I talk about principles of color, I'm simply saying that colors evoke emotion. These are things you can read. I'll still drop the PDF so that those of you that have not read it, you can read it. Colors convey emotions. For instance, now, Red is always associated with things like danger or, you know, emotions. Red carries a lot of emotions, right? Because it's very bright. So uh, imagine you are going somewhere and you see a skull and they say do not enter and the color is pink. You be like, woo, cute or cutesy, and you enter. Eh? But if the background is black and then the skull is red and they say danger, do not enter, you run far away from it. So colors convey emotions, right? You can't be talking about agriculture. Imagine you are designing something that has to do with agriculture and there is no green or brown inside to signify things like plants and soil. The design is just going to meh, it's just going to be there. So these are just some color theories you should just know about. Again, there are exceptions, okay, but I don't want you to start worrying. Just follow the basic guide for now so you can get a job. If you want to learn the whole thing before you start looking for a job, you might have to start preparing your great grandchildren for that job because you no go ever learn am. In fact, as you are finishing it, a new something new will come up. Uh-huh. So that's what I would say on how to choose the. Just follow the guidelines I'm going to give you guys. Okay, follow the guidelines for now. Maybe when you've done design for a while, you can read more. All these things are online, but there's no one size fits all. That's just what I'm trying to say. For now, stick to the basic rules. Eventually, you get to a point. Like right now, if I'm designing, I will definitely pick fonts that match. Sometimes I have to do some research and test out fonts. So it's not like I'm Ojuju Calabar, right? Sometimes I have to really test out different fonts. If you notice on the design we're doing on the portal, after the design, I duplicated, changed some fonts. That is how you test it out. But unfortunately, some of us, our eye just no good. I've seen some students, I'll tell them go online, do some research, get any nice design, let's use it as inspiration. These people will go and go and pick the most mundane design and you'll be like, is it that they are not seeing it that this design is ugly? That's just the truth. But over time you begin to get it properly. I think we have a module that we call eye washing, where we wash your eye so that you can start seeing good design. There is a module like that where we show you designs where we show you the kind of designs you should be aiming for before you go and carry a design that was done in 2013 and go and start saying it's what you want to use for inspiration. Then we also have exploration. We will also get to exploration. But please, like I said, if you are here, you don't have to complete this course to start telling people to reach out to you. If you are here and you've done at least 2 weeks, you know how to draw a frame on Figma and you know how to color it. Start telling your family members. Don't go to Google and apply at this point though. No be me send you. Instead, start telling your family members and friends. Those ones that if you fall their hand, they will not swallow you, right? Start telling them, your church members, and hey, if the thing no come out well, you can meet your pastor will settle it amicably. But it's going to come out well because if you get any job right now, I will make sure I help work with you and you deliver a great job and you learn it under pressure. Just so you guys know, I learned web design under pressure. I never learned it well. I lied on my CV, say I dey do websites. Meanwhile, I know they do. As they just hire me, they now said they need their website to be done, and I cannot backtrack. I used 3 days to learn web design because I was on a hot seat. The next one, when measuring the height and width of images for design, are there some factors to consider? Yes, there are some factors to consider, okay? Now, for most device screens, I think you have to understand device screens, okay? So if I go and check uh, common device screens, okay? Common device screens. Oh, I was supposed to put common device screen sizes. So let me come here, okay? Let me check here. common design screen sizes. Once you understand common design screen sizes, you can like gauge the sizes of your image. So if you notice, most devices are like this 1920, 1080, 1600. Let me just come here. Let me go to Google. Okay, let's get an iMac. Let's get a MacBook Air. Now, when you get a frame like this that says MacBook Air, let me show you what this means. MacBook Air. Okay, let me show you what MacBook Air is. Let me open it. Okay. Are you sure this is MacBook Air? Okay, let me just use anyone for now. Okay, let me just use anyone for now. These people things I won't buy. Let me just copy this image. Let me explain this to you, because I think this is very important so that you can actually know your sizing. Okay. Now, anytime this thing is quite, let me just crop this out. You can also see how to crop images. So as we are doing this thing, we learn a lot of things. That's if you're paying attention. I think in my next world, I want to be attention, because everybody pays attention and is barely doing nothing. The money way the whole world is paying attention. That guy is very, very wealthy. I'll just change my name to attention, so I'll go and collect all the pension. See word. I'll change my name to attention, so I'll go and collect all the pension. Clear road. Okay. Now, when you choose something like MacBook Air, are we together? When you choose something like MacBook Air, you see this screen here. This frame you are seeing here is basically this place, the whole thing here. The whole thing here, before the person starts scrolling. That is it here. That means if you want, when someone opens your design, maybe your hero section, if you want when someone opens your hero section, it should cover their entire screen like this. That means you are aiming for your design to also cover this entire place. But there is something you have to take note of. Like I said, it's the entire screen. That means if you are designing, you have to consider, you see this place, this browser, okay, this Chrome bar, this 1 and 2. That's the tab section and the what's it called? The address bar. So if you remove the tab section and the address bar, that means the remaining part, and I think it's about 76 pixel. 76, I think so. Either 76 or 96. That means this place, I think 96 pixel. Let me use 96 as the height. Okay. So what we are saying is that if you minus the Chrome tab, okay, if you minus the Chrome tab, which is this Chrome bar, okay, this top bar, the tab and the address bar, the remaining thing here is where your hero image will be. Again, if your design covers everything here, that means when the person open it on their MacBook Air, it will fill their entire screen. When they scroll, they see the next section. Okay, now what is the height? Okay, what is the height? Let's just do this minus 72. 832 minus 72. Okay, minus 72. Okay, minus 90. Let's do minus 72. I'll find out the real figure. I usually just use the templates. I've forgotten the number. So that means this is our real screen here. So what we have here is a height of what? 7.6. It's a little bit of maths. That means if you want the person to view an image that will fill this screen at any given point, you can make the image size 760. That's the height. Okay? You can make the height 760. If you don't want it to cover the entire thing, you can go something like 500, 600. If you want it to be like half of the screen, you can go with 300, 350. So it's now for you to choose. So depending on how you want the person to visualize it. For instance, let's go to this website. What's their name? I like them. Seamless HR. I like their product. I have a colleague that used their product. It's just very nice and very easy and very simple. They are not doing too much, unlike some companies in Nigeria. Okay, when it opens, I'll show you. You see the way they use their image. So depending on how you want the image to appear, okay, so you increase, you choose that base size. Although when you are now developing, you export at a higher range, because there are some systems that are bigger than MacBook Air. So if your image size is like 500 and you also export at 500 without properly optimizing it, when someone on a bigger screen opens it, it might become blurry because the system is trying to scale it up. Don't worry, when you get to handoff, developer handoff, you learn these things in more details. Okay, so everything I'm just saying is to give you guys the ideas so you think properly when designing. But eventually, if it seems like I'm rushing, eventually you get there and you understand it. So there is a whole class on developer handoff. That is when you learn sizing, exporting assets, either at 1x, at 2x, also optimizing assets. So let's assume you export an image and it is 2 MB. That will make any website to slow down. So you need to be able to optimize it. So these are some of the things you eventually learn. I hope you guys are taking note of some of these things. So yeah, so take note of it. It depends on how you view it, okay? Depends on how you want the person to view it completely. But just know that once you start shrinking images, especially on laptop, if you are doing a laptop design, a desktop design, for instance, you see this thing I told you. If I decide to say, okay, my image should be 100 by 100, you can see it is quite tiny. It is quite tiny. So you now use your sense to calculate it. Although the best way still is, as you are designing, you click on this present and then be checking it yourself with your korokoro eyes. You can be checking it with your korokoro eyes. Another quick expo. Okay? Another quick expo. Sorry, guys. Quick expo. Okay? I know some people want to claim that they are too much. Another quick expo. If you don't know image sizes, let me give you people quick expo. If you don't know the image size to use, visit different websites. Okay? If you visit a website, let's say I visit Seamless HR. If I visit Seamless HR, okay, and I'm already seeing the way their website looks like. I'm already seeing the size of the images. Let me look for where they have an image. So they have a HR product. I love the design of the product. A colleague used it. So now let's assume you are trying to design something like this and you like the size of this image. You want your own to just be like this. My brothers and sisters, just copy it. Come to Figma, paste it, and you get the size. Life is not that hard. This is 2025. Okay, so you can see the size of this image. Now why it increased to 913 is because of what? I'm on a bigger screen, just like I had explained. So if I actually take the size of my screen, my laptop screen is very wide. So I might even go with this 1728. This is like my laptop screen because it's very wide, 1728. Now watch what happens when I bring this here. You can see we are having exactly that size. So maybe I might need to scale this down to like if I hit K, let me duplicate this. If I hit K, okay, then I can scale it down to 0.5. That's half of the screen. Good. So I can now take this and put it back here. Then it's now very proportional. It's very proportional. So another thing you can do, I don't know the laptops you are using. If you are using a small laptop, make sure when you are designing, you always pick the what? The small laptop. So something like the MacBook Air. Okay? That's if you are using anything 11, 12 inches screen wide, always go with this. So let me not dwell so much here again. I just hope we are getting it. The next question, is there any difference between normal resizing and using a scale? No, there is no much difference between normal resizing and using a scale. Instead, scale gives you this freedom to easily increase or decrease things augmentally. What do I mean by augmentally? So this is no longer a frame. Let's not consider. Okay, let me not. Okay, take a look at this. Say this image. Okay, this image. If I decide to start reducing it like this, I don't even know when I'm half. Okay, I don't know when I get to the half of my original size. But if I'm using scale, that's pressing K on your keyboard, I can easily say increase it 3 times. Okay, let me drag it out. Increase it 3 times. And if I have multiple images like this, for instance, I can just go to all those images and say increase 3 times, and I'll get the same result. Okay, it's a little bit more programmatic. You know exactly what you are doing. You can also say reduce it by 0.25. Then I can go to all those ones. So that's basically what it is. Explain space between in auto layout alignment and when should it be used. Space between. Let's take a look at these designs. Do I have any design I can use for space between here? Nope. Nope. I don't have. I don't have. Okay, space between is used to make things like nav bar. Things like nav bar is a good place to use space between. Space between simply helps you tell Figma to respect the space between the elements. That's when you align them. So let's say I have this. Let me have this here. This here. Okay? So I have one element here, I have another one here. Now if I select these two and add them in an auto frame, Shift A. Okay? Remember, this is set to space. Okay, let me bring it here. If it is set to center, if I'm reducing this, you can see what's going on. Okay? But if I set it to space between, it means no matter what I do, Figma should preserve the space between them. Okay? Let me show you something again. Let me try increasing this now from here. If I try increasing this from here, this way, you notice that these guys will just stand still while these other ones are moving. That's because it's also centered. Let me make it left. Let me go to the right. Let me increase this from here. You can see that this is moving with this just standing in one place, right? It's just standing in one place because this one is respecting only this space, 895. If I reduce it, then it comes closer to this guy. If I increase it, then it goes further from this one. But here's what happened. If I select space between, if I increase this from here, it will always stay at that edge. So for instance, if I do space between now, let me duplicate it so you can see. So if I should say space between, if I keep increasing this, it will always stay at that edge. You can see space between now. It will always remain at that edge. So it's very useful for things like nav bar. Maybe you have your logo here and you have your menu here on this side. You want to maintain that space between the elements. So that is when you use space between. But if you don't set it to space between and you try adjusting this here, you can see the frame just moves, but the element stays in place. So that is space between. I hope you guys understand it better now. Okay, explain space. I think that's all. The next one is responsive design. This responsive design, we actually need like at least 30 minutes to explain, but let me just use something simple to explain it. So if you are designing, like I explained last time, you have 3 major breakpoints. That's your laptop or desktop your iPad or your tablet and your phone. So these are the three major breakpoints you have. So if you have a design, so if you have a design on your laptop, I'm trying to pick my frame tool. I don't know why I can't pick my frame tool. Can you guys still hear me? Hope you guys can still hear me. Okay.
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know. I think my system has gone to break. I don't know. I have quite a number of things going on at once, so probably that's why. So if you have your designs at different breakpoints, you can use the Figma plugin called breakpoints to tell it exactly when to break at any point in time. Okay, but Figma is already working on something. Figma is already working on something to fix this. Like they newly released the responsive grid. Okay, so I come in here and I choose tablets. Let me say the iPad mini. Okay, then I come in here, I choose phone. Let me go to phones and I want to choose iPhone 13 mini. Okay, so remember you've completed your design. You duplicate that design, change your screen to this and optimize. You change your screen to this and optimize. Already we know, for instance, your navigation on desktop they are going to show fully. On tablet, the logo shows bigger, then the menu is replaced by a hamburger menu. I'm sure we all know what a hamburger menu is. On mobile, the logo is smaller with a hamburger menu. So once you have all these three designs in place, all you need to do is to launch. Again, there is a class explaining all these things. You launch your breakpoints Figma plugin. You launch your breakpoint Figma plugin. This is the guy right here. Okay, this particular one. There are quite a number of them, but I like this one. So you select it, you run it, and it's just going to give you like a skeleton and ask you to impute the design for the desktop, impute the design for the laptop, and impute the design for. I don't want to activate anything right now. I already have it on my personal Figma file. So you impute the design. It's going to give you like a progress bar. You impute a design. You say, okay, this is the design you should use for desktop. This is the design you should use for iPad or tablet, and this is the design you should use for mobile. Once you've identified that, it's going to generate a master design. Okay, so it gives you a master design. So when you send that design to someone, immediately they start adjusting it. When they get to that breakpoint are basically different device sizes. Okay, different device sizes. When it gets to that device size, it swaps the design for the other one. That's basically what's going on. And if you keep moving, if you get to phone size, it swaps the design for the one you've identified for phone. So that's how it works. But right now, I want to focus more on the basic design principles and also creating more designs as time goes on. Because right now, the world is moving so fast. If you create a design and you move that design to something like Figma sites, their technology will automatically try to give you mobile responsive design. So don't go and start wasting so much time. Instead, just learn the principles of responsive design and adaptive design. That's what you should just learn. But don't spend so much time trying to do it. It's 2025. There are a lot of technologies to help you, because at the end of the day, your designs will not live on Figma. Your designs will be developed. Most of this front end framework, they already have ways to make these things easy. So don't overstress yourself. But you can just go online and read principles of responsive design, principles of adaptive design. Okay, there are just two ways we tend to make designs for different devices. It's either responsive or adaptive. By adaptive, I mean there are some designs, there are some features you add to a design based on the screen or based on the location. There are websites you visit, when they detect that you are not on 4G, they will serve you lower resolution images, or if they detect that your internet is slow. The same thing with TikTok. If you are using TikTok and your internet is slow, they will not serve you high resolution content. They will just drop the quality because they don't want you to leave the app. So they might just have to drop the quality. It might be a little bit blurry if you're using a large device. Don't worry, it's because your network is slow, right? Once they notice that your network is very fast, they start giving you high quality content. So that's something you should also take note of. Any other question? Any other question? If you have any other question, raise up your hand. So let's take that question. Any question? Khadija, Jack, Ibadni, Christiana, CMC, Onyechi. So you guys don't have any question?
So for
Sir,
now,
Yeah.
yeah, me, I don't have, but I'll still look through. I will digest everything you just said, and I'll find my questions in them.
Okay. Okay. Someone was about saying something.
yes, I asked you a question about creating cards.
Oh, yes, cards.
Yeah,
So let's
and
see.
how it flows. So,
Okay. So if
okay.
you are creating a card, okay, first of all, you have to make like a mental map or a mental grouping of the elements in that you are targeting in the card. So cards, this is example of a card, okay? This example of a card. Uh, that's this one. One thing you should know about cards is that their size, the size of a card depends on the content inside the card. Okay? So when designing a card, the last thing you want to do is to draw this white box first. Don't start from the white box because your card size is determined by the content inside. So, what do I mean? When designing a card, if I want to design this card, the first thing I want is to get the logo. Okay? I get the logo and I place the logo. The next thing I want to type out this thing, and the next thing I want to get my buttons. Now, if they are going to be the same space between them, that's fine. You can see clearly on this particular card, the space between the three of them is uniform. Okay? So what do? I select 1, 2, 3, and then do Shift A. Okay? Once I've done Shift A, okay, let me just copy this. So let me copy this image. I don't know why Figma is not responding. I don't know, Figma is not responding like before. I don't know who vexed up. So let me say here, I paste my logo. So I've pasted the logo, right? The next thing I need to do now is to copy the text. Now I copy this text. Oh, oh, lo, lo, lo. Let me just copy the text. I know the image is copied, but how do I remove the image? Let me just click here and copy this. Okay, good. Because I know the image can't paste on the address bar. Now I pick the text tool and I type. Okay. Now I already know, as someone that have been listening to Mr. Wheels for the past month, I already know that body copies are supposed to be 16. So I put in 16 here. My this can be set to auto or 24. So I put in 24 because I'm using the 8-point grid to make my design. I drop it here. The next thing I need is a button. Do I have any button designed somewhere? Okay, let me just quickly create a button. The next thing I need is a button, and the button says read story. Okay, read story. So the button says read story. So to create my button, maybe since I'm using regular, I'll just go with medium, just to give it a little bit of thickness to differentiate it from the body copy. Then I do Shift A. That gives me that padding there for the button. Then I can just go maybe here. Let me just go with 24. Okay, and for here, let me just go with 12. Then I probably want to like give it that stroke. Okay, let me give it that stroke. Let me just use any color right now. Let me just use this blue, and I probably want to curve it a little bit. That's 8 there. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is to select the three of them. 1, 2, 3. And I'll do Shift A. Sorry. Shift A. So for this Shift A now, one thing you need to know about cards is you have what you call padding. Okay. Padding and then margin. Padding is basically the breathing space between the card, the container and the content. And if you take a look at this card right here, you can see the breathing space around it. This is what is making this design look so neat. You can see it's breathing well. These things are not so close to the edge like some of your designs. So you can see the card right here. So all this space around the content is called padding. Okay. Now the space between this card and this card, this empty space, is called margin. Okay. But on a grid you don't call this margin. Just take note. But in a container like this, the space between this card and this other card is called a grid. If it is on a margin, if it's on a grid, you probably call it a gutter. So take note. These are some of the kind of questions you are going to see in a in an aptitude test or evaluation test. If you are applying for a job, they might ask you the space between containers. What is it called? So it's margin. Meanwhile, the space between content within a container is padding. So let's go ahead and and do that padding. So let me come in here. To do padding on auto frame, all I need to do is to set my left and right. So I'm setting it to 32. So I have that real estate. I'm also setting this one to 32. Then I can just go ahead and add my color white to it. Of course, I can't see this because this is also white. So I use my God-given brain. I come and make it black. Don't shout that it has disappeared. So here on now, I can, this also, let me make it blue, purple. Okay. From here, I can just add like a little bit of curve there. Maybe 16. Okay. So to make it responsive, I can just select this and make sure this is set to fill. Okay. Let me see. Okay, this just fill. The button is not fill. So I can now select this and then just resize it. Okay. I can resize it anyhow I want. Again, the width. What's the width here? So I can just say let's make it 300. Okay. Select the image, and on the width, instead of 300, I can go with 120. So yeah, I've created my cat. Now what of the space between? The space between, I probably want to maintain maybe 32. Why is this so much? There's so much space here. So that's because the height is fixed. So I think for the height, I'm going with hub. Okay, good. So now I have my card created. The problem you make is if you try getting the container first, you are going to get it all wrong. Get your content, wrap it around, and auto frame. Now, what if you have more? If you have more, let's say you're trying to do here, okay? Let's say you're trying to create this whole footer, and you want this whole footer to be in like one card. If you attack them at once, you are going to fail woefully. So how do you do something like this? First, divide them into sections, okay? First, you want to divide them into sections. Let's just tackle this and this. I can see that we have two sections here. So like I said, I can see that we have two sections here. Okay, three sections basically. So you have to use your sense as well, okay? I'm here. I'm where your problem is. Don't worry. This thing wants us to refresh. I'm trying to activate this tool, this drawing tool. Okay, you know what? Let me just take a quick screenshot. It's visible area. I'm trying to take a quick screenshot. So let me copy this, okay? Let me come here. So if you are trying to create this design, so my screen, you can see that my screen is 1920, 1920. Uh-huh. If you are trying to recreate this design, first, this footer section, we are going to ignore this guy, this ask Sandra. Later we can ask Sandra. The first thing you have to use your sense. Your sense. Again, I keep saying your sense. I can't give you sense. You have to use your sense to realize that we have, so always, anytime you are designing a website or an app, always try to divide things into either row or column. Row, column. That's how everything is done. Row and column. So if I'm looking at this as a row, I can identify 3 rows already here. First row. Now if you cannot identify this, now that is a problem I can't solve, because they taught us rows and columns in primary school. Top. So okay, I'm trying to make this a little bit thicker so you guys can see it. So this is probably the first row. Another row I can identify here is this one. Basically, in section, how many sections can you see? Okay, this is another row based on their words, closeness, and then this is another row. But remember, I'm not trying to draw rectangles to start my design. No. Now let me tackle this guy first. If I want to tackle this guy, I can clearly see something. I have 3 blocks of content. These 3 blocks of content is basically the social. Okay, it's actually 2 blocks of content. The social and this subscribe to our email list. But if you look at it again with your sense, with your common sense, you notice that this, if you divide, now, if you want to also divide this section into row, that means there is a big issue with you, not me or Figma. If you look at this now, there is nothing like divided into row now. Instead, you are looking at what? Column. In column, you can see we have 2 main columns. Okay? The first one is here. And then the second one is here. Sorry, let me duplicate this. Is here. So when you want to now start designing, you tackle from the smallest. So how do you design here? Here again, if you zoom in here again, you can see you have a text at the top. You have these grids of logo. So what do? You type social. After typing social, you get these icons 1, 2, 3, 4. After getting these 4 icons, okay, you select them and add an auto frame. You add them in an auto frame. Now, because this social is just a text on its own, no need to add it in an auto frame. Instead, you select social, you select this auto frame and wrap it in another auto frame. That will give you this group here. You move to the next one. You type subscribe to our email list. Because it's just a text on its own, that is fine. The next thing you want to do is to type work email, create your subscribe button, create this field. Now we all know this field is tied to this. So I select 1 and select 2 and auto frame them. Now I've gotten this and I've gotten this. So what do? I select this content and this content and then do Shift A for auto frame to get the entire row. Now I've gotten the entire row. Now I can move to the next one. The problem with some of you is that you are now rushing. You think if you just do, no, it will scatter. It will scatter. So you move to the next one. This next one is easier to create. The first thing is you can also see different columns. One, two, three, four, 5 columns. You pick your text tool, you type product. Oh my god. You pick your text tool, you type product. Then you pick your text tool again, you type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now here is a little trick. If I decide to select all of them, that's if I decided to select everything here and add an auto frame, it might look correct, but it's not correct. Why? If you take a look at the distance between product and HRMS, that's the first item, is bigger than the distance between HRMS and performance management. So how do I fix this? That means I need to select HRMS, performance, and add them in an auto frame and put the spacing. Then I can now select product and then this group to add in another auto frame. Now the good thing is, once I've gotten this
So
one,
can you
once
say
I've
that
gotten,
again, sir?
sorry, come again.
I said, please, can you say it again? My network lagged and I missed. So you said we group product and HRMS. Oh,
No, like I said, if you select product and all this menu and add in an auto frame, you might fail it, because if you look well with your God's given eyes, this the space between this and this is bigger than the space between this and this and this. Let's test it out. The space between this and this, okay, product down to this, you can see it's about 34, right? Let's move it here. You can clearly see that the space between this and this is bigger than the space between this and this. So because of that, we can't just select all of them and auto frame them inside one container. Instead, we handle the first one first. Since these ones are having uniform spacing, we select all of them first and then add an auto frame. Okay, after adding them in an auto frame, we will now select the product. Okay, we will now select the product and this auto frame and create a new auto frame. Now we have this. Once you've done this, it's good to go. You just duplicate it, edit. Okay, duplicate, edit. You duplicate, you edit. You duplicate, you edit. You duplicate, you edit. And you here now you can just add an image. Just drop an image. No need to stress yourself. Now once you are done, you now select the image 2, 3, 4, 5. You select everything and now do your auto frame. That's this one, the auto frame. Then you rest again. You rest, you rest. Then you now attack these last ones. Now because I have God's given sense, because I have God's given sense, I might not start these ones from scratch, because I can see that they're almost the same. Just that instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's just 1, 2, 1, 2. I'll just carry one of this, drop it here, edit, edit. Because I also have God's given sense. Here now, I don't need to start afresh. I'll just carry this guy here, come here, change the social to global HR tech, and then these icons, I replace them with the map. Then group these guys again. When I'm done, that is when I'll now select 1, 2, 3, and then auto frame them. That is the work you guys don't want to put in. That's the work you guys don't want to put in. You put ones abracadabra, it doesn't work that way. That's why everything will keep shaking like. Khadija, what's your question?
sections like 3 rows that we have. The first one, did we just group it without putting it in an auto layout? And the second one, is it in the final side that we put them in an auto layout? Or
You
did,
see,
did
you see
like the
this,
first
you see
section
this
we
blue
put
here.
auto layout, second section auto
This,
layout, third
this,
section then we now put a final okay there.
Yes, this blue here is the big auto layout holding all of them. You see this blue? By the time you select one row, the second row, the third row, you add your shift A, auto layout. You now add your padding top, padding bottom. You now add your padding left, padding right. Then color that big one blue. Every I hope you get it now. Okay? Any other question? Round up if there are no other questions. Onyechi, what's your question? Onyechi, I can't hear you.
I still based on this.
You said?
Sir, can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay, Christina, no problem. We're almost done.
Okay. I will say it's the same. The question about asking is, I don't even know. It's still this thing. I noticed that around that after HRMS, there's performance manager.
Uh,
I'll be management.
yes.
So I think I have a problem with one of the content, like one of the rows, right? The rows, no, the column of one of the columns. They have like smaller content, like just like about just a word, and they are very short. So when I duplicated and I actually put the other one, like
Okay,
I don't know how to explain,
that is
but
where
they were not giving me the same size, the frames, like the way you arranged it now.
okay, that is where your grid comes in. Okay, since this is your grid, let me get
So I'm using my grid. After using the grid,
yeah, let me
when
show you something.
I I preview it.
So if I'm using a 12 point grid, yeah, so a 12 column grid. So let me go to column, let me go to 12. Okay, if I'm using a 12 column grid, let me just do 80 for the margin. So again, you use your sense, you use your sense. If you take a look at this, okay, if you take a look at this visually, you can see that there is more space for the logo than these ones. That means you are targeting what? How many columns? 5 columns. One, two, three, four, and one that is bigger. Okay, so what I can do here is to come and make a mental model. So what I can now decide to say is, you know what, let me use two column for each of those sections. So I know that each of these, so even when I do my shift A, I can adjust my shift A and give it a fixed width. So this will be column 1, this is going to be column 2, and this is going to be column 3, and this is going to be column 4. Now this last column here will now be for my image, which is bigger, just like you can see. That way all the text will fall in here. So even if some text no come too small here, it's fine. Just make sure everything is properly sized. Okay, just make sure everything is properly sized. So this is the layout for this footer. Okay, this is the layout for this footer section, because if you look at it well, you can see that the space for the image is larger and the space for these ones are smaller. So two, 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 sahuri, sahuri, tum, 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 tum. Oh my god. So if you have two here, two here, two here, two here, you can use four for the image. There are some footer sections you see, they will all have equal sizes, maybe something like equal sizes like this. So it's for you to take a look at the content and see how it is. So what I will do is this. We don't have time anymore. We just have 2 minutes left. So on Monday or anytime next week when you are live on Figma, you can just drop a message and I'll see what you are battling with and we can fix it. Is that fine?
Yes, sir, but if they are you know,
Monday. Make sure you Make sure you send me a DM on Monday. Ebani Rose, this will be the first time you're asking questions, so let me take it before we go.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, evening.
I wanted to ask if maybe you've put something in an auto frame and you continued with your design, then maybe you notice that okay, this remove it from the auto frame. How do you
So if I have an element in an auto frame, okay.
do that?
So let's say this church gate. I no longer want this text, okay, this paragraph. Okay, let's start with adding. Let's say I somehow drew something else and I want this to be part of this auto frame. I have different ways of doing it. The easiest one is to cut it, Control X. Then I select the parent auto frame and paste. Then I know it will just paste inside because I've targeted this frame. That's one. Another thing I can do, let me just paste this. Another thing I can do is to easily click, hold, drag. But when I'm dragging, I'm paying attention to know when it snaps into the auto frame. You can see, once the auto frame is active, I can know it is inside, then I can leave it. Then it snaps in. The last way is to open my layout here, okay? I open my layout. Now I can clearly see this is frame 9 where my auto frame is, and this is here. So they are quite far from each other. So this is my frame 9. Let me drag it up a little bit so it's easier. So this is this frame right here, and this is my frame 9. From here I can just click, hold, drag it into frame 9. I will know when it snaps. Then it's inside. Then I can use my arrow key to adjust it. Okay? Now, how do you remove it? It's the same way. If I want to remove it, I can just click inside, drag until I see that it is outside the frame and I drop it. Or I can select it, cut, Control X, cut, then deselect the frame and paste. It's outside. Or I can come in, select the frame, open up the layer panel, and then make sure I drag it above that frame. Then it's outside now. Let me select it. Let me drag it above the frame. Yeah, it's outside. So I hope I answered your question, Ebani Rose.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I wish you guys a great week. A great weekend. Don't forget to keep practicing. Design every day if you want to get better before the next 6 months. Design every day. Also, eat well. Eat well. Sometimes, if you never chop, this design, no matter what you design, no go enter your head. Eat well, okay? Then design every day. If you see any design online that you think looks cute, design. Take it, design it. If you are designing it and you enter a problem, don't run. You are not Murife, right? Ask question. Drop it in the WhatsApp group. Ask question. Let's say you are designing something and you reach here. You see these images they've used here, okay? Let's say you are trying to do this image. So let's say you are trying to design and you encounter this image, right? Don't come and say, it's not even that fine. Let me leave it. Try and do it. Get all these frames. Add images inside. Get your cards. Design these cards. Place it properly. Place it properly. Place it properly. That is the hard work you need to put in. Don't run away. If it is something like this now, take this image. Do it. If you are unable to achieve it, ask questions. Okay? I will see you guys next week Saturday, same time, same venue. Have a good night and a good week.